What's up, everybody? Welcome to another installment of BrickWall Reviews. I'm Dave, of course, and tonight I'm here to talk about the latest Illumination animated film, the long-awaited, long-delayed Minions: Rise of Gru. You know what? And I should have had my little Minion figure I got from the movies today. I should have had that right in here with me. Doggone it, I don't think about these things. Oh man. Oh well. Well, listen, I'm here to talk about Minions. But before I get started, I want to remind you guys to go ahead, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you enjoy this content, leave a comment down below, and make sure you share this video with your friends, loved ones, family, whatever. I am truly, truly thankful for all the support that the channel has been getting lately. I've been seeing some videos pop up with a lot of great views, and I really appreciate it. And I've seen my subscriber count go up, help me reach my 100 subscriber goal. I'm still reaching for that, and I'm so close. I could taste it. With your support, I can actually taste it for real. But with all that out the way, Minions: Rise of Gru. This movie was released today, July 1st, at the time of this recording, July 1st, 2022, after 2 whole years of delays. 2 whole years of delays for this movie. I know Illumination was itching to get out and get that $1 billion Minion money, and they finally did today. So this movie this movie stars Steve Carell reprising his role as Gru, Pierre Coffin reprising his role as the voice of the Minions, Taraji P. Henson, Michelle Yeoh, Russell Brand, Julie Andrews, and Alan Arkin, as well as appearances by the RZA, Danny Trejo, Jean-Claude Van Damme, Lucy Lawless, Dolph Lundgren, Russell Brand. And this is a pretty stacked cast in this movie. But so this is obviously the sequel to the 2015 film Minions, which was a prequel to the Despicable Me movies, and this one serves as more of a direct prequel to the Despicable Me movies, more so as the Minions one. So it's a thorough timeline in this movie, and I'll kind of get into how that kind of plays into this movie in just a little bit. But so this movie kind of follows the this movie kind of, let me think, how can I say this? I'm sorry, I was reading a synopsis real quick. So funny enough, so I kind of missed a little bit of this movie because I'm going to go see it today, and I got there a little late, so I had to get my snacks and concessions and all that, you know what I mean? So I kind of missed a little bit at the beginning of this movie, but, I mean, it does start off with Kid Gru. It kind of picks up a little bit after where the first Minions ended, where, you kind of saw Gru there, and the Minions wanted to follow him and work for him. So we kind of see like a little bit of the aftermath of that from what I'm to understand. Again, I didn't really see it all. But yeah, so this has to do with, there's a Minion named, what is his name? Because there are so many Minions in here. There's Kevin Bob Stewart, of course, our main trio of Minions, and then there is Otto. Otto is the newest Minion that is introduced in here, and so the plot really kind of kicks off where Gru, he's trying to be a part of a supervillain group called the Vicious Six. I was going to say the Sinister Six. I had to change my mind because Sinister Six is Spider-Man. So he wants to be a part of a supervillain group called the Vicious Six, right? And so he goes to do like an audition for them, or pretty much an interview for them, so he can get into the group and become the supervillain that he's always wanted to be since he, of course, since he was young. But this is young Gru, so he's wanted to be all his life at this point. So So when he goes to see the Vicious Six, he's pretty much told, no, you can't join. You're too young. You're a little boy. You're not worthy to be a villain. So what does he do? He steals one of their ancient artifacts, which is sitting right behind them, that they kind of gloat and boast about. He steals it using a device that's made by a very special character that makes an appearance in this movie that I'm not going to spoil right now, but I will get into it shortly. So he steals it and hands it off to Otto to meet him back at the lab so that they can have that and celebrate, and he can get his ticket into the Vicious Six. However, Otto loses the medallion, and if you've seen any of the trailers over the past 2 years, you pretty much know that this is exactly what happened. And it's really weird. Now I'll touch on this a bit later too, but all the trailers pretty much give you the entire movie, especially the most recent trailer for when it was finally coming out this year. You get the entire movie. As I've heard someone say it, you get the abridged version of the movie. Um, so of course, this is just Gru trying to get that medallion back, and he also meets his hero, his idol in his idol in villainry, who is known as excuse me, Wild Knuckles, who was the former leader of the Vicious Six. He, connects with Wild Knuckles, and he he kind of learns from him. You kind of see a little bit of that mentorship he gets there, and he gets to hang out with his hero, even though he's kind of kidnapped by him at first, and kind of held for ransom so that the other minions go and save Gru from him. So that's what kind of kicks off the minions plot. There's sounds like there's a lot going on here, but it's more focused than what it sounds. If I were to explain all the different plot points, you'd be like, man, that sounds like it's all over the place. But it's really a focused movie, and it's mainly focused on the minions and their journey. Of course, the minions, they are walking, babbling sight gags and jokers and things like that. So you do get your fair share of minions in this, and you do get a lot of good laughs. I got a lot of good laughs out of it. The minions do not come off as annoying as they may have been after the first Despicable Me, or maybe even after the second Despicable Me. They do not come off as annoying as they have previously. They come off a little less annoying, a little more tolerable, a little more comedic, and it's definitely something that it's definitely something that I enjoyed watching. I did enjoy it. My kids enjoyed it. My mom, she came with me. She enjoyed it, and the audience was audibly laughing. So, and there were a few really gut wrenching laughs that I got out of this movie. So, I really thought it was funny. So this movie, I know I mentioned that there is kind of like a chronology or a timeline or whatever the case may be. There's a lot of references to things that happened not just in the first Despicable Me, but in the second Despicable Me. So we meet Dr. Nefario for the first time. We get the introduction to him and how him and Gru met. We see the guy who ran the bank, the evil bank. We see him. He returns in this movie, and we get a little hint at Vector. We Who else do we get in this movie? We get the anti-villain league, or the anti-villain agency, the agency that Gru had to work for in the second Despicable Me movie. We get that, they make an appearance in here. And there's just a few other things that kind of pop up that's like, wow, these are like really big breadcrumbs for what leads us into the first Despicable Me. What I found really interesting about this movie is that it kind of made me anticipate Despicable Me 4, right? Because we all know there's going to be Despicable Me 4, and if you don't know, yes, there is going to be a Despicable Me 4. And I really, watching this movie, I'm like, well, I don't see how they could do a third Minions, even though they might do one. I'm not sure, but I can definitely see there are things that happen in this movie, characters who are introduced and dynamics that are introduced with said characters that's like, okay, I can see that reprising in a Despicable Me Part 4, right? So it kind of has me a little hyped and excited for what could a story for Despicable Me 4 be, because if you want to look for any breadcrumbs of what a story could be, not saying that there's a possibility of any of this happening positively, because I'm not a studio insider or anything, but I would really look at this movie and I would expect some characters to return. I would expect something from this movie to have an effect on the Despicable Me 4. But it doesn't have to. And that's the fun part about it, right? This can stand as, okay, this is just showing us how Gru kind of got to be who he is, right? And some of his influences and how he got to really connect with the minions and really consider them a part of his evil organization, so to speak. So it was really fun in that manner. Or rather really cool in that manner to kind of see how those things went down. This movie was directed by by Kyle Balda, who I don't know if he has any previous experience with the Despicable Me franchise, but you can tell that he had a great time directing it. His direction in this is good. Just the animation, of course, from Illumination, their animation is always beautiful, top notch, really, really great, really good visuals. the jokes, like I said, what's really unfortunate about this movie after being delayed for 2 years is that a lot of the jokes and a lot of the gags and a lot of the surprise, well, not a lot of the surprises, but some surprises like the climax and everything are kind of given away in a lot of the trailers that we've gotten over the past 2 years. Um, so it's kind of like it kind of took away from the experience because there were jokes that I was like, wow, I would have laughed a lot harder at this had I not saw it in the trailer already. Like the karate part where the 1 million takes the other million's head and starts banging it on the piece of wood trying to break it. I laughed so hard when I first saw that joke. But then in the movie, I was like, it's that part from the trailer. It's not that funny. But they didn't spoil too many comedic beats because there was one part with the airplane. I thought that was really, really funny and really creative and inventive how they did that. Um, I don't know how people understand the minions and universe, but that's a whole nother story. But it's really good. It's a really and like I say, it's a very interesting film to watch. I enjoyed it. I thought it was funny. Even having to step out of the theater and come back into the theater and kind of like re-immerse myself into the film, it was a lot easy. It was very easy for me to do that, and I found the same level of enjoyment I did before I had to walk out of the theater. Walking back in, I'm just like, yeah, I'm strapped back into this. This is fun. This movie is not long at all. It runs at 1 hour and 27 minutes. It's not even an hour and a half, and it does feel its runtime. It doesn't feel long. It does feel a little short, but not like short where it's like, dang, I could have wanted more, but short where it's like, wow, that was pretty tight knit in a nice little bow. It wasn't too much, but it wasn't too little. It was just the right amount of what you would want from this from a movie featuring the Minions, right? I would say it's a lot more tolerable than the first Minions movie. That one it was good, but then it kind of was like, okay, this is obviously the spinoff of the comedic character, the one note joke that you kind of got to expand for 90 plus minutes. This one was like, okay, this is a focused story because this is how Gru and the Minions became who they were. So, became who they are in the movies that we know them in, which is Despicable 1 through 3, Despicable Me 1 through 3. Um, let's see. This movie's budget was approximately $85 million. I would assume that some of that had to go to pandemic marketing, right? Like they had to keep doing different types of marketing, cutting different trailers and doing different promotions for like 2 years straight to keep this movie on the hype train. So I kind of get that. But so far at the box office, it made $4.1 million. I have absolutely no doubt that this will do what the first Minions did and what the other Despicable Me movies do. And I have no doubt that this movie will make $1 billion at the box office by give it a week. Give it a week. It's gonna make $1 million because it's gonna make $1 billion because there was so many people in the theater here and all the other theaters I looked at to try to see it for today. They were pretty much filled up. So I know this movie is gonna hit $1 billion. That's a no-brainer. Let's see. The reception of this movie is actually pretty positive. Rotten Tomatoes currently has it at 71%, although that was at the time of the Wikipedia article was written. Right now it's kind of sitting at a 69%, which is still good. It's still fresh. That's still good. IMDb gives it a 7.3 out of 10. I'm gonna give this a 4 out of 5 stars. I enjoyed what I was able to see and grasp onto and understand about the concept of the movie and the jokes and the gags and things like that and the plot. I enjoyed it. I liked it. I thought it was funny. I thought it was really simple, which was good. And it's just good to see such a beautifully animated CGI film on screen. It's been a while since I've seen well, no, the last one I saw was The Bad Guys, but I like this movie. I really thought it was fun. It's harmless, fun. Adults will get as much enjoyment out of it as the kids will. Let's see, is there anything I'm missing? I already talked about what stood out to me and what I liked the most was that just the connections that it makes to the first Despicable Me movie and the second one as well. Anything that I disliked, I don't know. I didn't really dislike anything except for just the fact that it had to be delayed for 2 years so that a lot of the jokes and the gags that I feel like they would have saved from the marketing just for the unique theater experience, I feel like a lot of the good ones or a few of the good ones were kind of spoiled through the marketing. So that's a dislike for me. But other than that, I don't really have anything against this movie. Like I said, it was more tolerable and more enjoyable than the first one. I had a good time watching it. My kids had a good time watching it. My mom had a great time watching it. So, I mean, yeah. So, Minions, The Rise of Gru. If you can see it this weekend, it's now playing in theaters. If you get a chance to see it, go check it out. It's mindless, harmless fun. It's not going to hurt anybody. It's not as annoying and as obnoxious as you would think it is. It's a really fun film, and I do recommend it highly. So, with all that said, I think I have spoken about everything that I need to speak about. Right? Yeah. So, yeah, that's all I have for you guys. Thank you all for tuning in. This has been a short review, which is good. I'm trying to trim these things down a little bit, but yeah, remember, if you enjoy this review of Minions Rise of Gru, make sure you leave a comment down below, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel for more content. This is video number 2 of 3 that I was going to drop this week on Twitter. Make sure you follow us on social media. We're on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and yeah, other than that, you guys have a good night. Stay easy, stay breezy.